Hey guys, welcome to Braddels Gaming and to another episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series. In this series, I play other people's maps on the Far Cry 5 arcade, and today we're going to be looking at a map called Year 2036 by TheeHiddenBlade. This is a map currently on the Xbox One. It is a journey map. And yeah, unfortunately it is only on the Xbox, it's not on the PlayStation and PC platforms. But if I was an owner of one of those platforms, I definitely want this map to be on those platforms, because this is one of those maps I think would be able to stand up to some of the best maps in the arcade. And I myself haven't seen every single map in the arcade, but I've seen a ton of them, and this is definitely one of the better ones. The amount of detail and creativity that TheeHiddenBlade has used to design and create this map is absolutely awesome. He has really nailed the post-apocalyptic vibe to the map, but also the sci-fi element as well. It's almost like Mad Max meets some space movie, I don't know. Mad Max meets space, basically. So he's done a really good job to contrast the two styles without having one dominate the other. They're both they're both contrasting each other really well. Complementing each other is the word that I'm looking for. Now, before I go any further into the map itself, I just want to let you guys know that the gameplay today is particularly long. Now, this isn't necessarily a criticism on the TheeHiddenBlade's part. This is a really awesome map that almost like encourages you as the player to explore. It's kind of like an open world in a way. Basically, you guys will get the premise as soon as the gameplay starts, because the TheeHiddenBlade puts a very helpful starting spawn location, where he basically details what you as the player has got to do. But I actually decided to team up with a really good Far Cry friend of mine, an Xbox friend, Ghost Chicken, to help me actually get this gameplay for you guys, as I tried to attempt this map by myself, and there were a few times where it just took either too long to complete, or there were a couple times I actually failed the map because there was an excessive amount of enemies at the end. And I understand that this map kind of has a natural progression, where you start out pretty easy, and then each subsequent outpost, or as you get to the final outpost, it starts to become quite difficult. So yeah, I just thought having a friend with me to complete this map would be the best option moving forward. Not for all the maps. Some of the maps I can complete by myself, and I can complete in a time that is suitable. But even this video, it is nearly 25 minutes, and I'm trying to sort of compact my videos into a duration that is not as long, because I want to keep you guys engaged. But with that being said, my custom map video, which is going to be coming out very soon, of a new multiplayer map I've made in the Far Cry 5 arcade, that video is equally 25 minutes or around there as well. So I just want to warn you guys that this video and the next video are going to be particularly long. But again, that is no criticism of the TheeHiddenBlade. I think he's done an excellent job with the narrative and the whole sort of gameplay of the map, and it's a really awesome map. As you guys would have seen from the start, the spawn location, or the spawn room, it basically details that you have to go to the outpost with blue lasers over the top of them, so you can obviously see where those blue lasers are. They are quite bright and prevalent. You basically go to those outposts, you clear out all the enemies, and then you walk over the blue laser. And once you walk over, two blue lasers, I'm pretty sure the next blue laser will pop up. So it kind of guides you as the player about where to go. So even though this map is quite open world, it has a lot of guidance for the player. So you can kind of understand what the objectives are of the map without sort of getting lost in it. So yeah, that's another really good thing that the TheeHiddenBlade has done. He's done an excellent job in guiding the player. Even though this is an open world map, even though it's a very large map, it uses the whole surface area, or nearly the whole surface area of the entire editor. It's still really good at guiding the player about what to do next and where to go. Now, moving on, I'd say this map is a lot more fun when you're playing it with a friend rather than solo, although I think that is the case with a lot of maps on the Far Cry 5 arcade and on other Far Cry games. It's definitely more fun where you have when you have people to play with. But like I said earlier, this map is particularly long, and so I think having a teammate can be really helpful. So if you've got a buddy on Far Cry, I definitely recommend you play with them when you're playing this map. It's still fun and immersive and awesome to do solo, but I just found that it was a lot more fun with a friend, and it cuts down on the time for you to complete the map. As I said earlier, it's not necessarily a bad thing that it takes a long time, but if you're trying to play a lot of different Far Cry maps, you might want to just keep in mind that this map does take a little bit longer than your average Far Cry map. So you'll see here that I just walked over the blue laser. Once you do, it disappears, and that basically is telling the game, telling the scripting of the map that one outpost has been cleared, and I think it has something to do with it spawning the next wave of enemies at the next outpost, or something to do with that sort of thing. You'll notice as we drive around the map, it's definitely a good strategy to stick to the road. The road is nice and smooth for you to drive on, whereas the terrain is very rugged and quite difficult to drive on if you do decide to take that path instead. Again, that's not a bad thing. I think that this is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi map, so I think TheeHiddenBlade really nailed the terrain in making it sort of like a rugged, tough sort of terrain to adapt to. I think if you were to go into a foreign planet or a foreign place, you've definitely got to adapt to your surrounding environment, and so I think TheeHiddenBlade really nailed this apocalyptic sci-fi theme that every single environment that you go to, there's a different challenge, there's a different opportunity, and so I think that in terms of the terrain and in terms of the different outposts and the different enemies at each outpost, TheeHiddenBlade's done a really good job at that as well. Building upon the environment, you guys would have seen some very bright cinematic shots before of some arachnid egg sort of caves or caverns underground, and that's what I'm really talking about in terms of the effort that TheeHiddenBlade has put in terms of creating an awesome atmosphere for this map. He added a lot of water effects and water drip effects, and really nailed the lighting, and that's definitely one of my more favorite parts of the map, and you guys are going to see it again towards the end of this gameplay, so stay tuned for that. I remember my friend, when I was playing with him over the Xbox Live party, he was just absolutely in awe when he saw that underground cavern for the first time, and also the map in general. But seeing the underground cavern was definitely the highlight for him as well. Now I'll move into the cons of the map, in other words, recommendations to TheeHiddenBlade to improve his map. One thing that both my friend and I found is that there isn't a whole lot of weapon pickups throughout the map. So as you guys can see here, we're going around looting this outpost after we've killed all the enemies, and there is definitely a lot of worthy equipment for us to use to aid us in our crusade, if you will, to finish this map, to kill all the enemies, to complete the objectives. There's a lot of ammunition and medkits and body armor that is definitely going to help us along the way to be able to complete the map. But there isn't a whole lot of weapon pickups, and the only weapons that you really pick up are off the floor from dead enemies. So the ARC, the pistol, the M133, just the standard issue weapons that all the Far Cry AI have, and so it can definitely get a little bit repetitive in terms of the gunplay, and honestly pretty boring. And so I think that if the Hidden Blade just added maybe like a super weapon or some sort of weapon pickup at each outpost, it would definitely mix up the gameplay a little bit, and yeah, definitely almost provide a reward for us as the players. You know, after clearing each outpost, a weapon spawns or something like that. That is our reward for clearing out that outpost. And like I said earlier, it also mixes up the gunplay so that the map doesn't become too repetitive. Also, it means that yeah, we can use different weapons, so we can actually have a little bit more of variety in how we, you know, take out the enemies. Now, towards the end of the gameplay, when you get to the boss fight, yes, there is a boss fight. The Hidden Blade has thought of anything, has thought of everything, I should be saying. Uh, there is an excessive amount of enemies after the boss fight, or sort of before the boss fight, and so I would recommend to reduce the number of enemies that spawn in that particular location, and the location I'm talking about is the underground lair, near where you yeah, kill the boss, for Hidden Blade's reference, of course. And the reason for that is when you're playing solo, it can be pretty difficult to try to take out the boss enemy whilst you're also trying to fight an excessive amount of enemies that are attacking you from all sides. So in terms of solo, it can be a little bit difficult, so I would reduce the number of AIs that do spawn in that particular part of the map. In terms of co-op, it definitely is a lot easier. You can have one person attacking the boss whilst the other person is covering them from behind. And you guys are going to see what I mean by that when the gameplay does come up in about 8 minutes time, I think it will be, or 10 minutes time. But yeah, that was just a particular recommendation I wanted to direct to the Hidden Blade, as he definitely probably knows what I'm talking about. Whether it's you guys just listening in general will probably not know what I'm actually talking about until the gameplay comes on for that particular segment of feedback. Now, as I normally do with all these videos, I am going to end the commentary here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, the breakdown of this map, the pros, the cons, and yeah, just the general analysis of this map and the gameplay. So yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe if you're new around here, and remember to hit the bell icon for future channel notifications. If you enjoyed the map and you're on the Xbox One, definitely give this map a go. It is definitely one of the better maps that I've seen in the Far Cry arcade. But otherwise, I'm Braddels Gaming, I'm signing out now, and remember to have yourselves a great day.